Welcome back to our series, 10 Lessons from Doing Virtual Events. This is Roberto Monaco here with Influenciology. And in this video here, we're going to talk about lesson número 6, in Portuguese, 6 in English, lesson number 6, copy and paste doesn't work. Roberto, are you crazy? What do you mean? I use that on my computer all the time, copy and paste, copy and paste. Well, when it comes to copy and paste, taking your offline in-person presentation and doing a live virtual event webinar doesn't work. Right? Quick story for you. Years ago, I was hired to do a 4-hour talk, kind of like transformation, inspirational, the psychology of success. And I said, no problem. And it was in Arizona, and I had to get 2 planes to arrive there. And 3 days before, I got really sick. I'm talking about like sick, couldn't move, throwing up, was really bad, and I didn't want to cancel the event. And because I was very familiar with the presentation, the 4-hour, I've done, I don't know, 100 times, I'm like, okay, I can do this. I didn't want to cancel the event. So I did the best I could. I flew to Arizona, and I was still sick. Woke up the next morning and said, I'm going to do this. And I really using my willpower to do it. And I did my 4-hour talk. And in the end, the lady who organized said, oh, Roberto, that was amazing. Thank you so much. And I remember this lady came, other lady came and said, hey, Roberto, can I share something with you? And I'm like, what? And she pulls her notebook. And her notebook, she goes, look, doing a 4-hour talk, you share 11 stories with all male characters. And you only had 2 stories with female characters. By the way, guys, I was speaking for a group of 100 ladies, right? So I didn't, quote unquote, customize my message that time. And even though the message was, the presentation was okay, I felt like I let them down because I could have done a better job. And that's the power of adjusting your message, even though if you're a coach, consultant, loan officer, you sell technology, you're a veterinarian, you're a chiropractor, you're a coach, consultant, a CEO, you have your message, but you always have to take the time to customize the audience, even though you've done the presentation, the webinar 100 times. And it was my fault, so I own that. So the lesson here is this, right? Copy and paste doesn't work. So in this video here, I want to talk to you about 5 adjustments that I done. Now, I want to be super specific here with these 5 adjustments, is that I know not everybody who's watching my videos here who follow Influenciology, that you guys do long format events. I want to be super clear. I know some of you might be doing maybe a half an hour virtual presentation. Maybe you're doing like an hour or webinar. I understand that. I just want to talk about the 5 adjustments that I personally did when I did my 3-day event, traditional influence from the front, and I moved from offline to online. 5 areas, and maybe not all of the 5 areas are going to be applicable to you, but some of them I promise you will. So let's talk about what kind of adjustments that we done. Number 1, start and finishing time. Start and finish your time. Because I realized that when you do virtual presentations, you're going to get clients, prospective clients from every single corner in the world. It's crazy. And the last event I did, I had people from Europe, from Asia, from South America. And I really, when my traditional event, I go from Friday, for example, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Online, I go 9:30 p.m. Eastern until 8 o'clock. So I kind of like move up a little bit because I know in California, for example, it's the 3 hours behind. I live in East Coast here. So that's something that I was really trying to figure out, okay, what is the best, consider me doing virtual presentations now, and I want to attract more people. What is the most, quote unquote, time that can work for everybody? Right? So that was one of the things that I really, before I was just like, hey, you come to my event, here's the time. Now it's kind of like, well, if I want to serve the most amount of people, that's something, one of the adjustments that I made, okay? Again, start and finishing time. The second adjustment that I made was this, the length and frequency of breaks. Length and frequency of breaks. Now, if you're doing just, for example, an hour webinar, you don't need to do a break, right? But if you're doing, like, let's say you're doing a 2-hour event, a 3-hour event, a 4-hour event, any profession can get a group of leaders and put an amazing event for your industry right now, right? Which is, you can serve a lot of people. And one of the things that I realized, that when you go to when you do like a traditional in-person offline event, you can go longer because you have the energy in the room. People, you have that special energy. When you're doing a virtual event, it is the communicator, the speaker, the teacher job to manage the energy, and there's a lot of things that you can do. But I realized that if you do shorter breaks, more frequent, you're gonna have a bad success. Because when you do a traditional event, in-person, offline event, I keep repeating that, they have lines in the bathroom, or people they're gonna go get a coffee at Starbucks, there's 20 people in the line. Now, usually when doing a virtual event, they're at home in their office, so you can do shorter events, you do more frequent, so you keep the energy up. So now, instead of, for example, I used to have, like, let's say 2 breaks in the morning, now I have 4. Right? And you keep the energy up. So that's something that really help our events. I want to share with you. The third thing that I customization, super important, was offer. Now, I'm not suggesting you guys to discount your services. Some of you work for big companies, you can't, so it's not at all. It's just consider the offer that you are offering online. For example, people know that when you do in my case, in our company here, when we have a traditional in-person offline event, you have the cost of traveling, you have a cost of a hotel, you have other costs. And when you're doing a virtual event, then you don't have as much cost. Then what we did, you actually pass the savings to our audience. You actually did that. And it is a different experience. And while the whole pandemic, COVID, speed up the process of people being used to watch webinars and be at home watching videos, I feel it's still you're always going to have some resistance for the older generation. Like, hey, I want to be in a live event, a live in-person event. I don't want to sit in front of my computer watching a webinar. So I feel it's very important for you to customize your offer. We did it and it was successful for us. Maybe you don't have to do it. I just want to share something that we did, and for us, work out great. So we talk about, repeat here, the adjustments we did. We talk about start and finish time. Okay, very important. Number 2, length and frequency of the breaks. We add more breaks and they're shorter. Third thing we did, offer. We actually developed a new offer. We have a new class now, and we developed, and there's a lower pricing point. And a lot of people, sometimes they stick with the same offer because they used to do the same offer over and over and over again. I'm like, okay, maybe it's working for our industry. I just want to share from my experience here what we done. All right. Number 4 here, what else is that? Oh, enrollment process. Enrollment process, really important, because when you go to, that's a question a lot of people ask us. It's like when you're doing a webinar, how do you close? You close, right? You gotta have a landing page, a nice landing page, a shopping cart, and you want to make sure people can sign up right there. Now, when you do an event, for example, offline, again, depending on the industry, depending on the event, you have the opportunity, go to the back of the room, or a salesperson can talk to you. You have multiple touch points that people can have a conversation to sign up for your product, for your service, for your software, for your coaching. In a live presentation, you may not have as many opportunities, and you have to be more streamlined. So you want to make sure how you go about when you close, how you take them, how you show them, you take your time is really important too. A lot of people, they spend a lot of time working on the slides, the presentation, the virtual presentation, and they don't spend enough time thinking about what's going to be my enrollment process. All depends on what kind of offer you have. Start the offer, depend on how long you're speaking. If it is a half an hour presentation, 4-hour presentation, half a day presentation, a day presentation, all depends. Okay, very important for you to think about that. And the last thing that we did is the content and chunks. So content and chunks here, meaning that I realized when you do like a live in-person event in front of an audience of 1 or 10 or 100 or 1,000, you have more flexibility. Online is more like people have less patience, like, because they're just a click away. It's super easy for them to just turn off the camera, just to turn off the camera and go to the kitchen. It's easier for them to just I'm not participating anymore. It's just easier. So what I did, I got my content, and I really was so critical. Like, man, this is everything here must be a must. One, number two, I'm gonna find every opportunity I have to make that content super engaging. How do you do that? Couple things you can do: ask questions, have people use the chat, tell stories, use power lines or slogans, because power lines are lines who change people's minds, like don't speak to inform, speak to transform. If you don't share your story, the marketplace will create one about you. All these power lines is almost like a direct jab. People, like, you keep them engaged. So what I done, I'm like, man, I become brutal with my content. Before, I'm like, okay, this is good. I get more flexible. People are not gonna run away, in the middle of my event. But now online, I realize a whole different game, and your content gonna be even more streamlined. So this is like 5 things I want to share with you. Quick recap here: start and finish your time, length and frequency of the breaks, offer, enrollment process, and the content and the chunks. Chunks are basically, if you do a chunk, is like a block of persuasive information. It's how you organize your content. Have a couple comments here. Hey, brother, I don't know who it is. You gotta give permission to StreamYard. Someone said, hey, brother. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. For those interested, we have our influencing from the front for the virtual presenter. If you're going to be doing live videos, online seminars, virtual talks, videos in this year, then check it out in the description below. We have an amazing, amazing event coming up. Don't speak to inform, speak to transform. And I want to leave a little gift for you. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Now, I want to give you a gift for you for supporting our mission. We have a class called the 10 Beliefs of the Master Influencer. And the reason we developed this class is because, like in any other area in life, your beliefs drives your behaviors, which leads to results. For example, someone is super healthy, that person have a very specific blueprint or belief system about health and wellness and exercise than someone who's unhealthy, for example. The same thing applies to communication, to influence, to persuasion. So in this class, which we're gonna give you for free, you're gonna learn the 10 beliefs of the master influencer, of the master communicator. There's a total of 20 videos, 1 video explaining each belief and 1 video on how you can apply that belief in your business, into your life. Plus, you're gonna get a 25-page ebook that comes with the video training and is yours for free. And all you have to do is just to click on the link on the description, and you're gonna have access to your course, the 10 beliefs of the master influencer. Total of 20 videos, an awesome ebook just to help you out with your videos, your presentations, your communication. Don't speak to inform, speak to transform, and thank you. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a beautiful weekend, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.